Before we start this video, you must consider everything that I say that the woman in this video says as wrong and as something out of my head. You also must accept that everything I tell is also entertainment and only entertainment, and you shouldn't follow anything or believe it, but if you have any problem, only to follow advice from a licensed professional. You must also accept the terms down the description of this video or simply don't watch it. So this here is a young woman and she mentions that she maybe is asexual, she doesn't want to date and she doesn't have the urge to date, while women in her age want to flirt, want to date and goes on. Let's see what this woman has to say, and after that I am going to make my own comments.
I have felt like there is something wrong with me because I don't have the natural instinct to want a boyfriend or my whole life. I have felt like there is something wrong with me because I don't have the natural instinct to want a boyfriend or a partner or anyone. And by my whole life, I have felt like there is something wrong with me because I don't have the natural instinct to want a boyfriend or a partner or anyone. And by family, friends, society, movies, songs, all of that is surrounded by finding love, and it feels like that is the only thing that you should want in life. And because I don't have that instinct in myself, that I feel like I need one, I don't. And because of that, I have felt like I was weird. I was not a part of society. There was something wrong with me that needed to be fixed. And that made me feel like I need to force myself to feel these emotions that I genuinely don't have.
So, what this woman says here is that we have been all bombarded by society for some reason that we must have a partner. Now, I don't say that is right or wrong. In the past, for example, I had really long-term relationship. I had some also in some shorter relationships and some experiences. But this woman here says that this is something that now I don't have a relationship and I don't want, but what this woman says is that society uses all its a great deal of its advertisement, its efforts to pass that we must find someone to be whole, that we must live that life that is with someone else in our house, that we must want someone else and do things to have someone else in our lives without any logical explanation, just because this is something that some other people or systems in society have decided is the right way. And I can say that this woman is extremely aware because she can see through that. And this is really rare for the age she is. So, for example, I needed 10 years of meditation to start seeing those scripts from society as of how is a proper way for all of us to live. Again, I don't say it's right or wrong. Everyone does what he or she wants, but someone may seize, and if he or she is honest with him or herself, that there are liabilities in any decision, and one of those decisions is to have someone else messing up with your personal decisions all day long. And this is a relationship. So let's continue now.
And you lose yourself while trying to do that. And I definitely lost myself. I didn't know what I wanted. I felt like being myself was completely wrong and shameful, and that I needed to be fixed. So I started to question myself, like, am I asexual? Or do I just have trauma? Or am I just too scared? Or am I just not like everybody else? But the truth is, I am just being myself. That's just how I am. My instinct isn't to want to find a partner. I have different priorities, and that doesn't have to be a bad thing. I don't have to label myself in every area of my life.
I make again a pause here, because for a person at this age to understand that once we don't fit, we put labels. We are such as, I'm not good at that, I'm weird, I'm the one, I'm the other. Those labels come from other people because we don't match the way they think it's better we live. I don't say once again it's right or wrong to have a relationship and goes on. But this woman obviously has got that at a very young age. Some people don't get it in their 50s, you know. And in her age, I was completely oblivious. But what she says is that simply that someone must want to have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever, must come from a real, honest, personal want, not because everyone else is doing it, and not for validation. For example, let's say I have money, if or I have some status. If women reject me, I don't feel good for what I'm offering because they rejected me, or I feel good because they come for that reason. That ways, a man in the specific example is controlled by women's reactions on his value. And this is something that also society passes for society's reasons. So men try and put their best to fit just the system. And many times, not feeding something that is really productive, like housing, clean and real organic food, uh, electricity, so to speak, and useful things. They may put their efforts just to make more money, just to make the money so women like them, or have status for no specific value in society. A doctor, for example, is a tremendous value in society. But there are so many things that men do that, in my opinion, at least as a man, they don't do them for other people. They do them for to get validated, and that's tragic. And this connects to very much with what the woman says, because it's different to want partner or more partners. I don't know, for personal reasons, and different is to do things to get validated by other people's approval. This is something I struggled a lot and still have some validation seeking, but it's not even close to what I was. Okay, and I also have been in dating in my 20s a lot, very active, and I found out that if I don't mold myself so much that I become another person, it's true that many women won't like me. And also that I honestly don't like most women. Not because they don't look good or whatever, or they aren't funny sometimes, but I just don't. I have specific, for example, specific women that I could sit for a bit with them. And this is something that society tries to obscure. Okay, so let's continue.
Why can't we just be? Why does we always have to be someone in a category? Why can't I just be like, no, not right now, I don't want a partner right now, and that is okay. People always question when I talk about this, when I explain that I don't really have a need to date, or I don't have a need to find a partner. They never believe me and always make me feel like I am weird, and that I always feel like in that constellation my presence gets diminished. Like I lose my significance there and then. And that's really sad because it does actually affect me. And I'm just tired of trying to please all of these people who they don't even care about me. At the end of the day, they care about themselves.
This is also a big one. See, this woman has, and some young people generally are more aware in our age. I don't know exactly why this is happening, I guess, but I'm not going to discuss this. They care about themselves. So those people want her to act like them, even if this is something dishonest. Because I've done dishonest things in the past, and still I catch myself sometimes. And they feel bad that she doesn't do what they do, because they feel bad, feeling in themselves, doubting themselves that they are doing the right thing. Because I don't know who watched now this video, but who follows those things is someone who watched those things in television, who saw other people doing it. He or she may hasn't searched in themselves and ask honestly, what partner do I like? How do I imagine the relationship? What I don't like and I want to avoid in a relationship. And they just jump in relationships and then they just mess their lives up more than they are already messed up, and pretending they are okay. So yeah, I'm harsh, I know it, but this is how it is. If you don't know, for example, what do you want to buy from a store, you are going to buy anything that you see there. But if you know what you want to buy and what functions you want to have, you are much more likely to buy something useful. And the same goes with relationships. So this woman is hurt by that, and I was hurt for many reasons. For example, molding myself, especially, and I mean I don't mean communicating, but I mean really molding myself, which I couldn't handle at the end. So I stopped the consistent dating I was doing, because what's the reason, anyways? Finding someone where every time you want to say no, you say yes, and the opposite, of course. There is no reason. It's just hatred built up and a transaction thing, which we can find other ways nowadays. So once again, don't follow. I don't say something that you must follow something from what I'm saying. What I say is that know what you want and try to not follow just blindly what everyone else is doing, or their fake smiles, or their fake pretendance that everything or many things are alright. So let's see in the rest video.
And I'm so tired of pretending to be someone that I'm not. And if you can resonate with this, you should also you should know that we do not have to feel like this. It is okay to focus on your career, focus on friends, focus on yourself. Or it's okay to just not know if you want someone or not. we don't always have to know everything in life, and yeah, I'm just tired of putting up a front and pretending like I know everything and I have a plan, and yeah, no, sometimes we don't know. And people shouldn't question you for that. It's a part of life, and they don't even know. I'm sure that a lot of people who seem to have the perfect life, they don't feel like they have everything put together. So yeah. And another thing is that, isn't it weird that in society it's often praised to seek independence and be independent, but in reality it's often seen as loneliness. And I just find that a bit contradicting. So on social media,
This is a big thing what says. Being independent is can survive at least to the bare minimum, and not need many things. While in everyone in society, especially nowadays, being independent seems having more responsibilities and more things up on your head. Once you buy two cars, for example, you have to fix those cars, pay the fees, deal with other things the cars need. The same goes if you have more objects. You get dependent, more dependent from those things, not more independent. Having more money needs to deal with banks, with securing this money, checking what is going on with this money, rules, laws, regulations, all of those rules and laws also if you have the business on social media, and of course offline, but especially online now the things are really hard. You may say something you shouldn't, you get disabled. So it's not real independence, it's independence showing in other people's eyes, so they think that this is independence. It's bigger dependence, just having more things. Again, it's your choice, but it's true that because I've pushed myself at some point and had more responsibilities and more money, that I needed to see what work everyone is doing, to pay people, to have always rules and complaints and all these things, going on. So I don't say don't do it, do it, but have in mind that there is a price that you cannot be independent. You must like to solve all the time problems. If you like to solve problems and make plans, it's good. If not, I'm not sure if you can handle it in long term. Let's continue.
yeah, you say that it's something good and something to strive for, but when you see someone do it in reality, for example me, who chooses to be alone and not date, oh, you see me as lonely and sad and something that you should fix. I find that a bit irritating, and I'm just done with all of these mind games and yeah, as I said, trying to so at the end of the day, I'm not missing a half. I feel whole by myself. I just happen to find more value in my own peace and happiness and my career rather than a Tinder notification. Like, that doesn't mean anything to me. So stop trying to find someone for me. I am not lost. So if you can relate to this, please subscribe.
So yeah, it's kind of strange once again that this woman is so young and thinks like this, but what I have to say from personal experience is that everyone wants something, okay? And if the deal is not something we think benefits more our lives than not having the deal at all, then better to kick it out. I have lost years of my life being on different type of deals, business, job, relationships, without counting the cost. And in my opinion, whatever is not honestly something we want to get, we just spend our lives. We just throw our years in the garbage basically from the one life we have. For example, if now I had a woman here and I needed to go with a woman somewhere I don't want, watch a movie I don't want, hear her complaints which I don't want or don't care for the specific complaints, talk about objects and some things she wants but I don't, then I would just hate myself. Maybe I hide it, but that's how it goes. So, this is everything I wanted to tell. Do whatever you want. Those are just my thoughts. Just learn to think a bit by yourself without believing or mimicking whatever everyone else is doing. If you like it, okay. If not, then find your own ways, man or woman. Thank you very much for watching.